Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. And today I'm going to show you another card that we made at this week's stamp class. And it was, the theme of the stamp class was diagonal cards. So this is a card, it's a nice monochromatic card. And I have a little ribbon belly band on it. It slides right off. And you open it up this way. And there is your card. And I chose to have a belly band out of ribbon because I liked the soft seam binding, and you could do it with a strip of paper along it if you like as well. I am going to change it up just a little bit today, and I'll show you what I mean when we get there, but it's pretty much going to be the same card. So what we need to do is first make our card. Now, I'm going to open this up so you can see. It is basically an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock that is cut from corner to corner diagonally. And that's what makes the card. Now, if you have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, this will fit. But you can't cut it because you have two blades. So if you're going to use your Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you need to remove the scoring blade. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see this, in order to get to the scoring blade, you have to remove the cutting blade. So right here on the end, you see this little like notch right there? I'm going to slide this over so that it's right there in that notch, and then right here, I don't know if you can see that, there is a little tip. We're just going to take that and pull it out. And that removes that blade. Then we're going to do the same thing with the scoring blade. Again, grab it right there and pop it out. Easy peasy. And then we're going to put this one back in. And I'm going to do it the same way. We're going to put it in that notch, and then we're just going to snap it into place. And there it is. It's ready to go. So what we need to do is we take our 8.5 by 11 and we line the top corner right there. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. The top corner right here and the bottom corner right there. So we're going basically corner to corner, and we're just going to slice. Okay? From one end to the other. Now I already have one done because I have the opposite side of the one that I just made. So I have one already, and here it is, and you see it is half, exactly half. And now we have to score it, and I need to put my scoring blade back on. Now I've seen, after we have our cut piece of paper, we need to score it. We need to score, this is the 8.5 side, so we need to score it in half at 4 1/4, and this is the 11-inch side. We need to score that in half at 5 1/2. Excuse, yeah. Okay, so here is our 8.5 side. Let me bring this down so you can see it. This is our 8.5 side. So we're going to line this up at 4 1/4, and we're going to score. Now we're going to turn it. This is our 11 side. So we're going to line that at 5 1/2, and we're going to score it. So now we have their valley folds. And that means they're going to fold in beautifully. And I would recommend that you use a bone folder to give yourself a nice crease. And because and you'll see when you close this, you have a perfect seal right there. Everything is lined up beautifully, and that is the base of our card. Now we need to have our perfect card base. Now we need to make the matting on it. I have a piece of mint macaron, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of DSP, which is 3 3/4 by 5. And this DSP is retired. It's from an old set called Perfectly Artistic, I believe. So now we need to cut this diagonally. But before we cut, we have to make sure that we're cutting in the right direction. So we obviously need to go from this corner to this corner. If we just throw this paper in our paper trimmer and cut from top corner to bottom corner, top left to bottom right, it's not going to fit here. You're going to have cut it this way and it's not going to fit on your mats. So you need to have this paper in front of you and know that you're going from top left, from top right to bottom left, okay? And then we're going to line up this corner in this groove, and this corner in this groove, and we're going to slice. And when you slice, because this is a tiny corner, I like to bring my blade up about an inch, slice down, and then up. That way I don't snag the corner, okay? And then I have to do the same with this piece, again, being certain to cut from top right to bottom left, because that's how my card is folded. Okay? Now, if I had done it the other way and not paid attention, which I did the very first time I made this card, I'm going to show you what would happen. Here's my paper, and it's cut diagonally, but I went top left to bottom right, and so it doesn't fit any which way. It could fit if I turned these over, and then my whole card would open differently, which is fine, but I want my card to open this way. So therefore, I needed to be careful. So that's one thing you need to really pay attention to when you're cutting your paper. So now I have my Designer Series paper, and I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to show you another trick. When you're attaching your snail, these are tiny little corners here. So if you just did the snail to these separately, you'd have a little bit of snail hanging off there, or you wouldn't come up far enough to get that corner and it would end up curling. So if you butt these up together and then run your snail across, catching the whole thing, you now have snail right up to that corner. And I'm going to do the same coming down the center. Okay? And then I'm going to peel it apart, and you can see I have snail right up to that corner. So now I'm going to mount this. Put that one down. I'm going to mount this onto my mint macaron. And the same with this one. Okay, so now we have that. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to turn it over. And we're going to butt the corners up together and run our snail across, ensuring that we have snail in every corner. And now when I peel these apart, you can see there's snail right up to that corner. And now I'm just going to mat that onto my card base. And it's a small little mat. Small little border, I should say. Okay. And now this one on this side. Open it up a little. Okay, and there is our card, ready to be decorated. Okay, so now we're going to make the front. And I remember on this one here, the sample, I used a ribbon belly band tied in a bow and a little medallion here. I'm still going to use the medallion, except I'm going to make it part of the belly band. So I'm using the Touches of Texture stamp set, which is a 2 package set. It's a beautiful set, and I'm going to use this and this. Okay, and I'm going to use mint macaron. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up the little kind of abstract dots there, and I'm going to stamp off on a piece of scrap paper because I want it to be second generation strength. Okay, and there it is. It's very, very faint. Then I'm going to come in with the flower, and I'm going to stamp that over. And now you see that my flower actually shows up very nicely. So the next thing I'm going to do, using the Stitched Shapes framelits, I'm going to take out the circle, and I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. I'll be right back. So here is my medallion. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White ribbon. This is seam binding, it's retired, and I am going to just make a knot. Now that's not very attractive at all. Well, it kind of is, but that's not how I'm going to keep this. I'm going to take my medallion. First I'm going to trim some of this little edge off here so that it doesn't show. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals, and I have 2 here. I'm going to put 1 right here, and I want it somewhat on the ribbon and somewhat on the little tail there. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm basically, with the dimensional, I'm keeping those 2 together, those 2 sturdy. I'm going to peel off the backing. My thumbs are not working again today. There we go. And I'm going to center this up, and I'm going to drop my medallion right there. And now the medallion is my belly band. See that? On this one here, it's a little dressier. It has a little bow on it. But this one here, it's part of the belly band. So we take it off just like that. And then when we want to put the card back, close the card back up, we just run that right down there. Okay. Now I'm going to do the inside of the card. This one here is of mint macaron. That's, excuse me. I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to mount it on a piece of mint macaron that's cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I'm going to place that in the center of my card. And that is where I will stamp my greeting or write my note. I just thought it looked nicer this way rather than plain white. So here's my belly band. And I'm leaving it blank until I have a reason to use it. It can be a birthday card, it can be a thank you card, it can even be a sympathy card. There's just so many different occasions that you can use this card. I'm going to swing that over and just drop it down, and there it is, all nice and secure. Just like this one, except this one has a medallion in the middle and a bow, and this one has a medallion which is part of the belly band. So there is a second way to make a diagonal card. If you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products I've used, please contact me through my blog, which is www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And if you don't have a brand new catalog, the 1819 catalog, and you don't have a demonstrator with whom you work, certainly let me know and I'll be glad to drop one in the mail to you. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you back here later this week. Bye-bye.